Welcome, Miriam Haart.
Thanks for having me.
How are you? Are you feeling well?
Yeah, totally. It's good to be in Israel. It's good to be here. And I'm really happy, yeah.
Oh, that's lovely. What have you been up to in Israel?
A lot. I've been doing a lot. My family came here. We were here for 1 month and we were filming content, going down to different places in the south, seeing what happened there. We've been filming families of hostages, meeting hostages that left themselves, just kind of sharing the story of Israel.
That's very interesting, you know? As a non-Israeli, to come and actually do that stuff, it's very, very interesting. But I'm very, curious to know, how did you first started with content creation?
So I got into it actually through an unusual way.
Mm-hmm.
Most people start content creation because they just love maybe sharing stories, or they want to share their life, or they want to promote a certain lifestyle. But I actually got into content creation through a TV show. So my family did a reality TV show on Netflix called My Unorthodox Life. And I went from having about 2,500 followers on Instagram to 100,000 after 1 week when the show came out.
Mm-hmm.
So it was very much stumbled upon because of the TV show. And once I had the followers, I ran with it.
Wow. Well, that's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
It's a big change. I wonder, how was it for you, at the beginning, from, a little bit unknown, to be a big star, you say, on Instagram,
Well, I knew that the show was coming out for quite some time. My family, we were preparing for the show to be made, and also even before it started, what the possibility of it starting. And so I had a couple years to really decide if I wanted to be on Netflix or not.
Mm-hmm.
And so because of that, when I decided to do the reality show, I knew that obviously being on TV, then I'll become a public figure. And so I had a lot of time to decide if this is something that I wanted to do. I decided that it is something that I wanted to do. And so when I got those followers and when I became a public figure, I was ready for it. I really prepared mentally for what that means, losing privacy, sharing my personal life online.
Yeah.
I was mentally ready for all of that, and I chose all of that.
Wow. Well, what would you say that inspired you?
It was really important for me to share my story and to be online socially because I felt like I had a story to share. I grew up in a Haredi, ultra-Orthodox community.
Mm-hmm.
And as a woman in this community, I was restricted. I had a lot of restrictions. I wasn't allowed to wear pants. I wasn't allowed to date girls. I wasn't allowed to sing. I wasn't allowed to play sports. Most women didn't go to university. And so I felt like I had a story of coming from restriction and moving into empowerment. And I wanted to share that. I wanted to inspire people. And so it was important for me. It was important for me to take this opportunity and run with it because I knew that if I shared this story, then other people would be inspired too.
Wow, that's actually very true, If you actually have a voice inside in you and you feel like you want to inspire people, you want other people to hear, it's kind of like, helping other people as well, right?
I mean, that's what I wanted. That was a goal for me. And I think that just also being on the show, it gave me this platform in content creation. I get to constantly talk about feminism and female empowerment. And with my podcast, Faking It, most of my conversations are about just doing it, Whatever you want in life, no matter where you are in the world, you can make it happen. If I came from this community and I managed to get into Stanford without literally knowing properly how to write an essay, I literally never learned geometry in my community. We just skipped it. There's things that I didn't have proper education. And if I could get into Stanford, then anybody can do it too. And that's kind of what I wanted to share, is that you can do anything.
But at the beginning, probably, some kind of hesitation or fears, right? You faced a little bit of the voices in your mind tell me, I'm not good enough, I'm not done, and right? How did you overcome this kind of stuff?
Well, I think it's impossible to overcome. I think that it's kind of, to me, like a lifestyle where life will always throw you these challenges that will always make you feel bad about yourself or uncertain or scared or fearful. And I think it's impossible to overcome the challenges of life, or overcome the fears of life. But to me, it's not about overcoming them. It's more about accepting them, living with them, and not letting these fears or these challenges prevent me from doing what I want to do. You can still be afraid. You can still be scared. You know, you can still feel insecure and feel not confident. You can be unconfident in a conversation or at an event or whatever it is that you want to do and still do it. And that's how I live.
That's true. Wow, you guys are. I feel like I need a coffee. Just let everything go. Live with it. Do you. Do your stuff. And never be afraid to have a voice and to express it.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. But like, you know, in a world filled with technology and like social media, how can individual like find their authentic voice and like their neutral creativity?
I think that it's not really something that you have to find. It's something that you have to listen to.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think we all know at the end of the day what it is that we really want. I always like to tell people that the best advice to listen to is your own advice. You know, it's not about like seeing what, you know, great heroes of the past have said, what Michelle Obama said about, you know, something or anything like that. I really think that at the end of the day, we know what we want. And even if you're confused and you're like, but I don't know what I want, I don't. But what excites you? What gets you excited in life? You know, what is something that you do that makes you lose track of time? You know, like when you think about that, that is your authentic voice. That is your authentic self. When you don't even realize that you're doing it. You know, and so I think it's just about asking yourself, talking to yourself and seeing what makes me happy, what gets me excited, what gives me joy. Does it make me money? If you love it so much, you'll find a way to make money by doing it. You know, like if you love it so much, it's going to work. Yeah. And just having that attitude. Like when I started my podcast, it was exciting to me. I loved interviewing people. I loved having conversations, but I didn't start the podcast yet. I just like thought about doing it and maybe I should do it, you know, like
a lot of hesitation.
Like, I don't think it'll make me any money.
Overthinking. We tend to overthink a lot.
And I didn't know, like, would it do well? Like, probably not. Like, there's so many podcasts out there. Like, why would it do well, you know? Mm-hmm. But I just thought and I realized that it's something that genuinely excites me. It's something that when I'm interviewing people and I'm having conversations, I lose track of time. And so it's checking all the boxes of this is great for me, you know? And so I decided to do it. I decided to do it because it was something that was fun. It was fun for me to do. And so I did it. And now I went from having 400 listeners to 100,000, you know, and it's just about being committed and going for it for it when it's bad, when you're bad at it, you know, but if it's exciting, you'll get good at it.
True. That's true. Like, you just like need to go deep down and think to yourself, what is my passion? And just start, you know, don't stop, don't overthink, because as people we like tend to overthink, right? And that overthinking is something that actually stops us. It's the fears. It's not right.
There's one more thing I even say on this, and I recently talked about this on my podcast, is that there's actually the psychology behind doing something the first time and doing something, you know, let's say like the 8th time, the physiology. So the way our body feels when we do something for the first time or something that we've done before, it's very different. It takes actually, like in our body, physically, it takes more energy to do something for the first time. Why? Think about it. If you're going from your house to school for the first time and you don't know the way, you have to open up your phone on Google Maps. You have to see like, where do I turn? Where do I do this and that? It literally physically takes more energy from you. There's more anxiety. You like have to make sure you're taking the right turn. Like you have to be more alert. Physically, it's literally more stressful. It's a harder on your body to do something for the first time.
True.
But the 8th time, you don't have to take your phone out. You know, you turn right here, you turn left there. It's subconscious. You're moving. Your body's just moving. It knows where to go.
Yeah.
It takes literally less energy. So when you think about it that way, then you know that the first time is genuinely just harder. Genuinely for your body going to be just harder, but you know physically, psychologically, it will get easier because then your body will learn. And so whenever you're starting something new, like that goes into that, you know, you love something, the beginning is physically, psychologically going to be harder because you're just uncertain. But once your body learns the routine, then it's natural and you'll just flow. And so it's really just about getting over the first few times. Once you do that, you're golden. And so it's like a new way of looking at it, you know?
You know, somebody once told me like to get into a new habit, like a new routine or something, you have to do it for 21 days.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
After 21 days, your body get used to it.
Exactly.
So that's basically true.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually felt that, you know. Can we actually talk about your journey with Judaism since you left the Orthodox community?
Sure. I mean, where should I begin?
Like, how was it for you, you know? Because it's very, like, I walked in New York, and I walked, like, near the, you know, the Orthodox street. Like, mostly there is a part in New York. And I could feel, like, something inside. And I wonder if you, like, felt the same. What made you, you know?
Yeah, I mean, when I left my community, I wasn't really in touch at all with my Jewish identity. You know, like I grew up ultra-Orthodox. And so my relationship with Judaism has always been about religion.
Uh-huh.
You know, Judaism to me was a religion. It was something that you practice every single day. There's rules for everything. Which shoe you put on first is a rule. Like literally it's to the T, you know, there's no way to avoid the rules of Judaism. And so when I left the community and I was like, you know, this just isn't for me. And the moment I left, I went actually to Burger King. This was my,
Burger King.
Yeah, this was my fuck it moment. That's what I call it.
Burger King.
Yeah, I went to Burger King and by myself, I ordered a cheeseburger. Like to my whole life, like my whole community, this is like probably the biggest sin you can possibly commit is eating a cheeseburger, milk and meat at Burger King.
Oh wow.
You know, like
that's a big step.
Yeah, like the most like gluttonous, like American like franchise you can possibly like experience, secular, you know, thing to do. I went there and I ordered a cheeseburger and I ordered French fries. I took a photo. I still have the photo of this cheeseburger.
Hi guys, I'm eating a burger.
Exactly. And I bit into it and I took one bite from the burger, ate one fry, threw it out, walked away. And that was like the moment where I left the community and I said, I'm no longer an Orthodox Jew, which is pretty crazy.
That's very interesting because like the simple stuff for me and for like other people that are not from the community, It looks like very, very simple.
Right.
But for you, from somebody that come like out of it, it's very like, it's a big step.
That was like crazy. Like that would if I still believed in the religion, that means like I'm going to hell, you know? Like that's the biggest sin you can commit. But the fact that I did it was proving that I don't believe I'm going to hell if I do this. It's actually not wrong.
Yeah.
You know, and it was the first time I went into a non-kosher restaurant. It was the first time that like ate milk and meat together. It was a crazy experience for me. And at that moment I asked myself, what do I want in life? Because now what I told myself up until then, I was 16 when this happened. And from age 16 and below, everything that I thought was right and wrong stemmed from this religion. And now I'm just telling myself that I don't believe in this moral code anymore.
Yeah.
So who am I? You know, all the times that I felt guilty about ripping grass on a Saturday, because that's something you can't do in the Orthodox Judaism. I felt guilt about that. You know, like I would rip it, let's say, because I wanted to. I was like 12 years old and I wanted to rip some grass sitting on the field.
Yeah.
And I felt guilt for doing that. And now I'm like, this moral code doesn't apply to me anymore. What moral code does apply to me? What is right and wrong? Who am I? You know, like I had a whole...
The entire identity, you know, questions.
Exactly.
It's a stage in psychology that you get into that and you start like questioning, who
existential,
am I?
Yeah. It was like an existential crisis I was having when I was 16 years old, a very real one.
Wow.
You know, and I thought and I said to myself, well, what do I love to do? I love to build apps because when I was 13, I took my brother's computer and I built apps on it. I loved like coding. I loved just creating things. And I didn't really do it since I was 13. Like I was 16. For the past those 3 years, I wasn't in it because like, you know, being a teenager and everything like that.
Yeah.
So I decided to go back to app development. That's something that I love. And so I went online and I typed in app development summer camps. I wanted to find a summer camp to go to. Found one in San Francisco. Applied. You had to like have gone to computer science classes. You had to like have all this experience. I didn't have no computer science classes because I went to an all-girls school from the community where they didn't teach you computer science. Said, yes, I did. I went to computer science class, you know. By the interview, like I remember they were asking me all these questions. I did not know the answers to them. So as they're talking to me, I was was Googling the answers literally, got into the school, and then went to San Francisco. And it was my first time ever being exposed to like a new way of life. The first time I wore pants in public, the first time that I had friends that were men. And so when I went there, my journey, my relationship with Judaism was such that I didn't relate to it at all. You know, I went from one complete side to the complete opposite side, where I didn't talk about my Jewish identity. I was ashamed and embarrassed and had resentment.
When you were there with like in San Francisco.
When I was there in San Francisco, I went to like literally like I remember the first day I got to San Francisco. It was the first time being on my own. I was 16, on my own in the dorm for the summer camp, and it was the Pride Parade. It happened to be I came on the Pride Parade, and I remember looking outside and I see topless women.
The Pride Parade.
Yeah,
right there.
And I literally see topless women, like women together, men together, and I'm like, I came from ultra-Orthodox Muncie, New York, to now Pride Parade, San Francisco in one day.
What
you know,
would my mom say?
Yeah, I was like, where am I? You know, what is this place? So it was really crazy.
Am I in a dream? Like, what is going on? I see like naked people on the street.
Yeah, literally. It was crazy.
Where is God?
Yeah, seriously. I'm like, what is this place? You know, this exists?
Yeah.
But yeah, it took me like 3 years from being 16 to 19 for me to look at my past again. I kind of like I resented it and didn't want to talk about it. I was embarrassed. I wanted to just be a normal, quote unquote, normal person.
Yeah.
You know, and just be in this tech environment, meet people, and not have that past define who I am. And so it was really only once I was 19 and I went to Stanford and I was there that I started opening up about myself with my friends. Like I had friends in San Francisco. I didn't even know that I was like Jewish. I didn't even know that I was Orthodox because I wasn't ready to talk about it. It was something that was really hard for me. And then when I was 19, I started feeling more comfortable with my Jewish identity. And it was really only actually since I went to Birthright that I learned that there's another way to be Jewish. You know, that Judaism isn't just about religion. It's about people. It's about community. And it was once I came to Israel and I wasn't, for the first time in my life, a minority for being Jewish. Like, I think it's so cool that this is a country of majority Jews, you know, like being a minority, it's cool in the US. It's cool to come here and be like, whoa, everyone knows what Hanukkah is, you know, like everyone knows what Pesach is and everyone like has their Friday night meals with their family. That's so cool. That's so cool. Like I always thought it was the minority, you know, and coming to Israel and seeing what Judaism is in this country, learning that it can be secular, it can be queer, you know?
Yeah.
And so I'm like, I like that. I like being a part of this community, this way of life. And so because of that, I did Birthright again. I staffed a trip and like now my Jewish identity, and especially since the war, is my leading identity. You know, now I say I'm a Jewish woman queer, like it's number one to me right now, you know? Yeah, so that's the spiel, I guess.
Love it. Really, really love it. But like, if you ever experienced like here in Israel, like, you know, because you come from the LGBT, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like the community. How was it for you? Like here, how did you feel like the people around you treat to you here?
No, I mean, I'm from New York and I've lived in San Francisco and I've been to London, Tel Aviv, in particular, like Israel.
It's the most LGBT community, I would say.
No, I agree. It's literally the best queer community, like the most lesbian friendly, like the most lesbian bars here that I've experienced, like lesbian specifics. Even that's hard to find. Like in San Francisco, there's one like lesbian club. You know, here there's multiple things for that. Yeah, it's so queer here. I love it. You know, it's like for me, I've been coming here the past summer for the past like 2 years.
For the parade?
No, like just to be here in the summertime. Oh. And every single time I'm like, this place is amazing. The women are amazing, you know. There's tech here and I do tech, you know, and there's a beach. Like, why wouldn't I be here? So it's really great.
There's a lot of parties and and but have you been in the parade last year?
I haven't been here for the parade yet. So,
oh my God,
I
you
know,
have
hopefully
to.
this year, yeah.
So this is something that we have to do.
All right.
This is like, I'm going to write it down in my journal.
Yeah.
This is something that we're going to do in June 24.
Awesome.
What aspects of living in Israel resonate with you, like as an American, you know?
Mm-hmm. I mean, it depends where. I mean, so since I'm staying in Tel Aviv, there's a lot because city is city. So I love the city environment. I like being in a city. I like walking around, like walking a lot every single day, getting my coffee from the nice coffee shops, working in tech. Like I work out of my friends, like Darrow's this AI company in Tel Aviv, and I work out of their beautiful office, like beautiful views of Tel Aviv. So I just go there. They don't mind. They let me they gave me a desk. I just do my work from there. And so it's really great. I mean, I would say in a lot of ways, it's a city, like fast-paced life that I really like, plus the beach. Like the beach is amazing. I go on a run in the morning and I get to look at the ocean, and like it takes me out of the city, it's amazing. And so I really love like those aspects of the city and of being in Israel, I would say. Yeah.
But as American, do you feel like a bit of a difference?
Of course. I mean, the luxury and convenience of America isn't as much in Israel as I'm used to, but I would say that I know how to rough it out a little bit, so being here is fine, like right now I'm staying with my girlfriend, and she lives in this a really nice building, but it's like an old building. It's with bohemian style, like rounded balconies, so like one of the older buildings like
in Tel Aviv,
yeah.
Nice.
And so it's like an older building, like it's not like the high quality, like everything that you get in America, but it's still really nice. And so, yeah, there's definitely differences. The people, the way they speak to you is very different here. Like they're very to the point, very rude.
I have to ask.
Yeah.
If you ever got offended because of like Israeli, because we're like so direct.
So direct.
So direct. So like, have you ever got like offended? Like, why are you saying that?
So I don't get offended. I just find it funny. I laugh.
Like sassy.
Yeah, like I just find it hilarious. Like if I ask something and somebody's just like, no. Like in America, you would never get a no. You'd get, oh, I can't right now. Yeah, maybe at a different time. Like we'll figure it out, whatever.
Yeah.
No.
That's it?
That's it. Like I was really like for example, I asked somebody at a table, like, oh, can I take your chair? Like there's an extra chair and I wanted, to bring it. No. Not like, oh, no, I have a friend coming. Like, oh, no, sorry, my friend's coming to take the chair. In America, that's what you get. Like, oh, my friend's taking the chair. Like, I have a friend coming. Here, no, can't take that chair. And that's it. It's like super abrupt.
Like all my friends in Los Angeles at school, they call me very sassy.
Right, yeah.
And I was like, how am I sassy? I'm being myself.
Yeah, totally.
So that's very, very funny.
It's nice to date Israeli women, though, because it's nice that they're straight to the point. Like, if you're dating somebody it's so nice, because then what upsets them, what makes them happy, they tell you,
They're
like,
not, like, brainwashed you.
Yeah, they're not, like, not telling you, like, exactly how they feel. Like, my girlfriend literally says to me, like, you know what you do that bothers me? Like out of the blue, like just like I'd be on my computer, she's like, by the way, you know what you do that's like annoying? And I'm like, enlighten me, But it's nice because now I know what bothers her and I can change, you know what I mean? Like, so it's actually very nice.
Like very, very easy. We can say like Israelis are very honest.
Right.
Yeah.
Nah, it's convenient. I actually like it. I prefer it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's what makes us unique.
Mm-hmm.
But like, since you're like you love Israel and very involved with Israel and with the process with the war and everything.
Yeah.
How do you handle like any criticism or particularly like regarding your support to Israel?
Yeah. No, it's been really difficult. I mean, I used to, before the war, I would respond to all my DMs. Like I would get DMs and I respond to them. Yeah. And it takes time, but it's something that I thought always is very important. And like, I would get DMs from 13-year-olds asking if they can interview me for their school project. And I say yes, like it takes like 25 minutes of my time, let's say. Sure, let's do it. And so I always thought it was very important for me to respond to my DMs, something that I feel very strongly about. But since the war came out, my DMs are flooded with like 85% of my DMs are flooded with hate, of just really terrible things, like really, really terrible things that would not be appropriate for me to share. Wow. And because of that, I can't go through my DMs anymore. I just can't. I can't. If 1 in 15 is a nice message, it's not worth it for me, to read 14 messages of really, really disgusting things. And so like it's changed my life. The criticism has definitely changed the way I interact with like social media and everything. But I still don't let it stop me from speaking my truth. And so the way that I view it is that I'm still getting one person, one of my 15 hate is something that's super full of love. Like, I know that whenever I talk about Israel, and I know that whenever I share the truth, of what's going on here,
Yeah.
it's so important and it resonates with so many people that it's impossible. It's impossible for me to not do it. And since the word came out, almost all of my business through social media has stopped. Like, people don't want to work with me because I'm pro-Israel, because I talk about Israel, because I talk about the hostages, because I talk about...
I feel like in America, it's kind of like trendy.
It's trendy. And that's like the funny thing. Like, I have some clients that brands that I've been working with for years now, like, we're friends. Like, they know me. I work with them. It's like I text them to do, it's like we're friends now. Like, I've been working with them for so long. And one of them even said to me, they're like, Miriam, let us know when you're done with all of this and we'll continue like working together. And like, that's what it is. It's not even about it's not that they care that I'm pro-Israel or anything like that. It's not cool. It's not cool to be working with somebody that talks about Israel in like a positive way.
Especially in the industry.
Exactly. And so, it's hurt me like monetarily. It's hurt me like through the amount of hate that I've been getting. I've never in my life received so much hate ever.
Oh, wow.
But those reasons aren't going to stop me from me sharing my truth, from me doing what I think is the right thing to do. It's just impossible for me not to do that. It just feels wrong for me not to say and speak up, especially if I'm lucky to have a platform to speak on.
Of course, like, why not? If you have a truth and you have a voice and it is the truth.
Right.
So why not share it? Like, I find it like a very, like in America, especially in the industry, in the Hollywood and all, like the TV industry, it's very, very trendy to support someone that is, to support like Palestine, just to go with that because everyone are like talking about it. And everyone like I had one friend, he works in Hollywood in America, in the film industry there. And then like one time he posted on Instagram, I support Israel, I don't support violent and like inappropriate behavior.
Mm-hmm.
And then like 2 days later he posted again a story telling, I support peace, I support both sides.
Wow,
I do that. So it's kind of like, I wonder what happens to other people when they like, especially in America, they're like telling others, sharing that they are that they have an opinion, and then like something is happening. They're like shutting down.
No, I mean, it's very social. It's becoming a very social issue in the States. It's not like about something that should be more simple, which is just bring the hostages home. If you get attacked, you have every right to, fight back and show that you can't attack us. It's about defense. It's about bringing the hostages home. Unfortunately, it's not about that in the States. It's about this idea of ceasefire. It's about this idea of minimizing deaths, period, but not thinking long term about how many more deaths will happen if you don't put an end to it right now. And it's really unfortunate that people are so narrow-minded and that people aren't even willing to talk to each other. Like, the fact that I can't even talk to some of my friends about it, like the friends that disagree with me over this don't even want to talk to me. They just said, oh, she supports Israel, I don't want to talk to you.
But it's just an opinion. It's just like, it's just like a political opinion,
right. No, it's really crazy how divisive it is.
It is. But I feel like it's so good that it doesn't stop you from telling your truth and just going with it.
I just think that, like, when you think about Nazi Germany and the years following up to Nazi Germany and the culture of hating Jews, the culture of Jews are there to take over our government, they're money grabbing, they're dirty, they're all these things. And this was what was told, and this was the culture, and this was what then was believed by a lot of German people. And I'm sure there were German civilians who didn't feel that way, who didn't care, or who thought that, no, in fact, Jews are probably really great people, But it was probably hard for them to speak up, and say how they feel. And I think that's what's happening right now, too. It's hard and scary for people to speak up. And I'm not going to be afraid. And I'm not going to be scared to speak up, because because it's a Jewish problem. I think it's also just so personal. It's like,
It's something that happened before and it happening again and again and again. And we need to stop. Actually, like last time that it happened, we were so scared. So right now, why being scared?
Right. I'm not afraid.
I'm not afraid anymore.
Yeah, I think it's that I'm not afraid. I think it's that the Jewish people aren't as afraid because we have such a close story that was passed down to us from not our great-great-great-grandparents, but from our grandparents.
Yeah.
From people that are alive. They told us their stories, their lived experiences. And to us, it's this trauma, like this passed down trauma that we've experienced. So it's personal. All this is so personal. And so I think because of that, I'm not unique in speaking out, Like I think that the Jewish people are still hurting from what happened to us not too long ago, that we just can't do it again.
Yeah. But and how was it like for you to meet like hostages and hostages' family?
It's crazy because I remember we went on a Shabbos, for a Friday night meal, we went to a hostage family. And we went there, and the second we walked through the doors, it was like we were family with them. They were like, oh, boy, come, yeah, you're hungry? Here's some wine. Oh, this wine's really good. It's from here, blah, blah, blah. This is our dog. This is my son. This is blah, 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 blah. And we felt like at home, and everywhere we go in Israel, the hostage families, just everyone we're meeting, there's just this connection, just they're all good people, they all good-hearted, friendly, and it's true. The people that we're meeting, what they do for a living, they're therapists, they're social workers. They actually spend their life helping people. That's who they are. These people that we've been meeting. And it's just so crazy to me that these are the people who are living this nightmare. These really good people are living this nightmare. And yeah, it's just been so incredible to just see how much we're brothers and sisters through all of this. We really are all family. And this whole situation, if anything, it's brought us so close together. It's brought the Jewish people so close, as it always does whenever we experience some sort of crazy hardship and trauma. The Jewish people come together. And I think the Am Yisrael Chai message stands very strong.
Wow, that's to remind me, last time I did a PowerPoint presentation about Judaism. And then I showed American people, I showed them Am Yisrael Chai, and they were, I was tearing up, and they were that. So yeah, we have a very unique connection. Mm-hmm. We are entire big family.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad that you felt that way when you got into a hostage's home. Mm-hmm. And then you felt very warm and very, very friendly and welcomed, which is very unique, especially for that people that are out there going through it.
I know, it's crazy, right? Isn't that crazy? They even had smiles on their face. How?
Wow, I can't even imagine. Wow. But hearing their stories and everything, how was it for you?
It was very hard. I mean, we spent 3 full weeks filming every single day, traveling through all of Israel, going to kibbutz Be'eri, going up north, meeting people. We even met people that were Druze, and we met people that were Muslim, and hearing their stories and just all of it was really difficult, but important. And so I think I'm lucky that I went with my family to all these places and I had them to lean on, and so we really just tried to push through, and we knew that this was important work to be doing. And I think because I knew that this is all being recorded and we're all sharing this messages, that gave me a lot of strength, when I was talking to them, because I knew that this is going to be shared and people are going to hear this, and that's so important. So it made it easier for me, to do everything, to go to all these places, just because I knew that there was a greater purpose for all of it.
Yeah, it is important.
Mm-hmm.
What else?
I mean, something that my family did after coming here is we created this brand called fuhamas.com, and it's
FU Hamas.
Yeah.
Fuck you,
F-U Hamas. F-U Hamas.
Beep.
Yeah, exactly. And we made this, and the proceeds are being donated to bring them home. And we made these t-shirts that say, "Believe Israeli Woman." fuck Hamas, F you Hamas, we want to live, all these t-shirts that you can now buy and they're delivered to your home. And so the reason we wanted to do that is because it's not just about obviously donating to bring them home and supporting the organization, but it's also about the thing about not being afraid to speak up and share your truth. That truth being, fuck Hamas.
Fuck Hamas.
Especially in America.
Good.
Jews are afraid to say that I support Israel. People are afraid to say that. And that's why we create these t-shirts that are in your face that say, fuck Hamas, like in your face. It says,
in your face,
believe
Hamas.
Israeli women, believe them. And so that's why we wanted these shirts that have these big letters that say that. And so, yeah, it's kind of just about showing we support Israel. We want to live. And so, yeah, we create that brand where people right now can go to fuhamas.com and get a shirt, support.
So, guys, go to that link and buy FU Hamas.
Yes.
Please.
Exactly.
And don't be afraid to walk on streets, especially in America, with that t-shirt.
Be loud, be proud.
Yes. What's the most surprising or unusual comment or reaction that you received from your content? Like something that is specifically like unusual, like to you, not like specific to your content, like what you're actually doing. If it's Israel, if it's your podcast,
Mm-hmm. I got this one message from this guy. This was when like my podcast was like new, and I was posting a lot of episodes once again about like empowerment and like go for it. And that's what I love,
Yeah.
motivation. And I got this message from this guy, and he said, I just want to let you know, it's a super long message. She said, I just want to let you know, I've been watching your content, I've been listening to your podcast, and for a couple months, I've really been struggling, like wanting to leave my job, I had this like boyfriend that is like not good, like just like he said, my life is just wasn't where it should be.
Yeah.
And he said, watching your content and everything like that really pushed me. And I decided to leave my job not knowing where to go next. I decided to leave my partner not knowing what to do next. And right now I'm working, doing this like completely other thing that I love. I feel way more stable, way more happy. And I want to thank you because your content pushed me to do that. And like,
that's very good.
Yeah, messages like that is like, whoa, like,
wow.
That's crazy. And he's like, I really wanted to message you for some time now as I just built up the courage. And it's crazy. It's crazy for me to receive stuff like that because I don't even know really how I'm impacting people. Like, I don't know, like, especially now that I'm not reading my DMs. So I don't even hear from my followers, like, how it is that I'm affecting them because it's flooded with so much negativity. It's like, so I'm really speaking to a blank wall and hoping that people resonate with it, I started telling my followers to email me because I get so much hate. And so now I'm getting emails from my followers saying like, I saw that I should be emailing you instead of DMing you. I want to let you know that like, thank you so much for everything you're doing, blah, blah, blah. And so that's good that I get some of like positivity from that. But yeah, so.
This is like the kind of stuff that keep us moving,
Totally.
It's like, oh, I got this.
Yeah,
this
exactly.
was my goal. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's very, very unique and very powerful. I think that's lovely. So what do you think is your next step?
So right now I'm actually working, so obviously doing everything I can for Israel, continuing to support in all my ways, doing my podcast. But actually right now, something that's new in my life, I have a startup with my sister. And so we just got our first round of funding this past week. And now, we got into this fellowship. We're the only woman in the fellowship with tons of men. So it's pretty funny, me and
Powerful.
her. Yeah, we're like, of course, we're going to be here. We're going to be those women that are the only women. Like, we're going to continue to do that, not let that stop us.
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, we got into our first fellowship, got our first round of funding, and it's an app that is it helps people. It's an app that helps people. And I always told myself that I want to build something that helps people. Like, of course, I know I'm an engineer. I got a degree in computer science from Stanford. Like, I can build anything really, But I told myself that I'm only going to really commit to a company, to a startup, if it's something that truly helps people, because that's what matters to me. And specifically women. I care about helping women. What? In Malasso, what can I do?
What can I do? I love women.
I love women in all ways, So so I'm really excited. And if people, they can join our beta, so if people want to do that too, they can join our beta. Go to the link in my bio for that. But yeah, so it's really exciting.
So can you tell us more about the app? Like,
I can't
what's
really,
the name of it?
I can't
or
tell
a little bit
you.
of a sneak peek?
I can't tell you. The only thing I can really say is that it helps people. It's something that helps people. And I would say if you're interested in self-development, then this is an app for you. That's all I can say. It's an app. That's another thing. It uses AI. It's an AI app. And if you're interested,
it's an AI app.
It's an AI app, yeah. So it's been fun for me as an engineer to be coding the AI model, you know, like trying to make it really cool. But yeah, we just started. I released the first beta app yesterday. So now people are starting to join our first round.
Yeah.
We have a long wait list of people who want to be using the app. But if you come from Talk Israel, you get priority.
Oh my God.
So yeah, sign up within the link in my bio. You can become a user before it's released. So it's pretty exciting.
Oh, that's very exciting, you know? Like there are a lot of apps about self-improvement and like, I don't know, like positivity.
Yeah.
But it's really hard to point which one is going to work on you.
Right, exactly. So I'm excited for people to try this. I know that since I finished building it, I've been using it myself like all the time. And so that makes me happy when I'm like, right now I just need this app, and I pull the app out and I do the thing on it, and it like makes me like feel really good. So I'm excited for people to experience that too.
How long does it take to build an app?
Depends on how good you are at app development. But it took me about a month to build this version of it.
Okay.
I want to build a better version of it, one where like not 300 people can use, but 300,000 people can use. And that's going to take me probably 2.5, 3 months to build. But I love coding. So to me, it's so much fun to be like sitting on my computer being like, what should the architecture of the user view model be in order for this to function? You know what I mean? Like be super nerdy about it. So yeah.
That's lovely. But like you studied computer science 4 years, right?
Yeah.
4 years computer science. That's tough. Wow.
It's tough, but I enjoyed it. I mean, I did the major that was the most interdisciplinary. So I got to study philosophy, sociology alongside computer science.
Computer science.
Yeah. So like alongside it, like, so I got to study all these different things at once, which to me was really fun.
So not just math.
Not
like
just
coding.
computer. Yeah. Not just coding. Yeah.
Love it. It's entire aspects, you know.
Exactly.
And all of that. It's really, really fun.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Is there something else that you want to talk about or tell us or tell your followers or our followers?
I think just don't be afraid, you know? Like I think that from everything that we learned from this episode, it's really to just be yourself, speak your truth, not let what society tells you is right or wrong, deem what you do. You know, determine how you live your life. Listen to your own advice. If it feels right, do it. If it doesn't feel right, then don't, you know? And no matter if you're scared or afraid or whatever it is, the best way to feel comfortable and confident and feel good, and this is what I've learned, and I can really speak and be truthful here because I actually had a religion in the past that gave me all the answers, and now I have to find my own answers, you know, which is its own challenge.
Your own limitation.
Yeah, and so like, I just think that for everyone listening to this podcast, it's really important for everyone to just listen to themselves and not be afraid. And trust me, when you actually listen to yourself and you're not afraid and you don't let your fear stop you, you feel so much better in your body. You feel so much better in your life. You feel so much more fulfilled. You feel challenged in the right ways, you know? And so do that. I challenge you to do that.
Oh, yeah. She challenged us. But not especially just... Not like especially on like social media or content creation, but just like in general as people, if you want to do something, don't be scared, just do it.
Right.
Right?
Yeah. And that applies greatly to content creation because it's like the greatest form of social expression. You know, you're sharing with so many people. And so, yeah, especially for content creation, do that, you know, like don't be afraid, be yourself and you'll get the right followers. Like and another thing for content creation is when I started posting about Israel, I lost tens of thousands of followers, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I started gaining new followers, the right followers for me. And I said, bye 30,000 followers. I don't want you in my account, you know? Like, you're not supposed to be here. And so it's really just about building the right audience. And that's another thing to learn. You may lose followers when you start posting whoever you is, but you're going to gain the right followers. And it might take some more time, but it's going to happen.
Wow, I feel like there's something that I really needed to hear.
Awesome.
Oh, that's very awesome, you know? Yeah. I loved having you here. I loved having this conversation.
Awesome.
I feel it helped me and other followers here.
Yeah.
And guys, just don't forget to go and buy her t-shirt.
fuhamas.com.
And be ready for her app, especially you Talk Israel followers.
Link in bio. Miriam Haart is my username.
Yeah, guys. Have a lovely day.
Awesome.